Hello, my name is Tom Stiles, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show number 283. Got a lot of questions, and I try my best to put them at the top of the list of shows I plan on doing. So I got a question a couple weeks ago about the Grundig radio, the 750, which you see right now, and what question was pertaining to these buttons and knobs over here. So I'm going to try today to explain those buttons and knobs, some of which are straightforward, some of which are not. So let me zoom in first. There we go. And we'll start at the top. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Why do I start a show, and as soon as I start a show, actually this is like the fourth time I've started this show, does my weather station decide it's time to tell me what the weather is? Anyway, it's a terrible day in Florida. It's been rainy for 3 or 4 days. Wait a minute, we're not going to talk about the weather. Okay, get back to this radio. Okay, the first knob, first button, we'll just start from top, go to the bottom. First button is a power button. That's pretty self-explanatory. The next button is a sleep button. That's if you are listening to the radio and are afraid you're going to fall asleep and you don't want to leave the radio on all night. You can push the sleep button and it will set the number of minutes that the radio will continue to stay on and then shut off automatically. So that's what the sleep button is. That one's easy. The next one is marked ANT space ATT, antenna attenuator. And that's pretty straightforward too, except the indication to me seems like it's backwards. And the indication is over here. Let me see if my zoom still works. That's even better. Okay. I'm trying to use the arrow on my computer to point to it. That won't work. Here it is. This bar right here is an indication of attenuation. And the bar is full right at this moment, which to me, that would indicate full attenuation. Well, it's just the opposite. That's no attenuation. And you push the and now we turn the radio on. Well, it was on WWV, but now it's just all of a sudden WWV on 25 megahertz, which is their new frequency, just went away. Right in the middle of my show, it went away. I can't believe it. Okay, I was trying to show you attenuation, but I don't have a signal to attenuate, so let me try 10 megahertz. Oh, I got a noise there. Try 15. Okay, you heard it beep. There you go. There's the clock. So if I push the attenuation button now, you will see that level go down. Well, I guess you have to think of it as the level of the incoming signal has been reduced. And I'll do it again. Now it's almost gone. So as you push that button, the attenuation of the signal goes up, but the indicated level of the signal here on this graph goes down. Now let's see if it shows up on the S meter. Nope. This signal is so weak right now, it didn't even show up on the S meter. There is like nothing on right now. The bands are just dead. And what it will do is, as you continue to push it, it will go down, 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 and if you push it again, it'll start going up, up, up. So we push it now. Now it's theoretically all bars. That means no attenuation or full signal. So that's how that button works. The next button is similar, and it's the RF gain button. And most likely, I haven't researched this, but most likely this attenuation button is near the front end of the radio as far as the signal coming in, and then the RF gain is behind that. How much, once the signal gets into the radio, how much it is amplified is determined by this button. Now normally you would leave this in what's marked an automatic position. That means it's like a automatic level control or gain control, and you don't have to do anything. But if you are receiving a strong signal, say you're even on FM band and you got some station that's really strong, and it's so strong that it's overdriving the radio and the audio is distorted, you can use this. You can use either the antenna attenuator or the RF gain to attenuate that incoming signal or attenuate the amplification. Now, once again, it seems to me it works backwards, because if you take it off, which is fully counterclockwise, the automatic position, the first position is minimum RF gain. So you have to continue to turn it clockwise to get the gain to come back to maximum. So that's how it works. And I'm sure that there's somebody out there that can tell me, you know, where in the circuitry these two controls are, the antenna attenuator and the RF gain. Okay, the next one down is the squelch control. And let me turn the audio down. Normally, the squelch control you find on scanner radios, but you don't find on shortwave radios, for instance. And that squelch control determines when the signal is allowed or gated into the receiver so that you hear something. So, for instance, on scatter radios, a squelch control is a must, because number one, you're listening to FM, and when there is no FM transmission, if you have the squelch turned off, you hear noise. And the idea of the scanner is to scan a whole bunch of frequencies. But if you've got that noise coming in all the time, it's going to stop on the first channel and never continue. Well, there's other alternatives to doing the scan, but the normal scan. So this doesn't have a lot of function in, or a lot of use when using your shortwave band of this radio. But it can be used that if you have a signal, for instance, we'll just check this, just say this signal right here, WWV. Okay, now the signal level right at this moment is basically 0. So the band is really dead. Now, if this had a strong signal, you could use the squelch to kill that signal. There it is. So it's killed now until it gets stronger. So that's one way you could use it. Not very effective. So that's the squelch control. Not much use on shortwave. Probably might be useful on the standard AM band. Maybe. Not really. The last button / knob on this side, which is what we're talking about, is the single sideband BFO. And I did a show on single sideband listening and how a BFO works, and this is the knob that controls that. So you would put the radio in BFO mode, and then you would select either upper sideband or lower sideband, and then use the BFO to fine-tune whatever station you're listening to. Normally, you would use that in a shortwave band when you're listening to ham radio operators, because they normally operate in single sideband mode. So let's just try to see if there's any activity. Let's go down to 1400, and then we'll tune up. See if we can find anybody. Band just totally wiped out. I read yesterday that there was going to be some atmospheric conditions that were going to make shortwave listening pretty bad for the next couple of days. Plus, it's overcast and raining here. I can't find anything. Okay. I don't know if you can hear it because the camera's way across the room here. But there was a single sideband station in there, and he's gone, so I can't show you how to tune it. Oh, there's one. Okay. Okay, there's single sideband. Now let's see if there you go. See, I can use this knob to tune it in. So that's what you would use the single sideband BFO control here to tune in a single sideband station. So that's the controls, just kind of an overview of what they're used for and how they're using them. Once you learn how to use them, they're very simple. Like I say, a couple of them to me are kind of backwards. You know, like the attenuator button and the reading here seems to be backwards for me, but once you realize that, it's not a big deal. So that's the show for today. If you have any other questions about this or any other subject, please let me know. I still plan on doing, when the conditions get good, I still plan on doing some reception testing of the Grundig G2. Unfortunately, the reception overall has just been terrible, so I have not been able to do that testing. So that's the show for today. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.